My name is Ryan Richardson, and this is for EDU 528, Week 7. This was my budget plan for all of the sports. I went about this in a little bit different way. When I started, I wanted to look at the total number of sports we're going to be financing, which turned out to be 24 sports. And I kind of wanted to have an equal opportunity for each sport to spend the same amount of money, of course, with one big budget item. So I kind of went into it with trying to keep the numbers almost as even as possible. And of course, if they asked a little bit less than what that number was, then I went ahead and proved mostly everything that they had, with us still having the capabilities of getting the big ticket item. Roughly, each sport could have spent about $3,500, give or take a few there, to get that big ticket item done. And this is kind of just an overview of each sport and where we were at. And I ended up spending just roughly at $78,000, which left me with about $14,000 left for any type of emergency funds or anything at the end. We can kind of work through this little by little here. Starting with wrestling, anything highlighted, I went ahead and allowed that. Anything not highlighted were things that I backed up on. And the biggest thing with what I backed away on is anything that was a personal item, something like shoes or just apparel that didn't really associate much with the uniform, kind of got left out. As well with a lot of big ticket items like the wrestling mats. With the current mat being okay, we'll wait a few years like they asked, and then that could potentially be our big ticket item. The other thing, like on this one, with the NFHS rules, we have other means necessary to get them, the education and the equipment needed, where we don't have to spend that kind of money on getting personalized items, things of that nature. So I allowed roughly for the wrestling, they were asked with a wish list around $20,000, and I awarded them about $3,266.69. Going right into girls cross country, they came in below our average budget, so I awarded them everything that they needed, with right at $2,534.44. Jumping into boys soccer now. Again, I left off the coaches verification. I think that's something that they can complete on their own, or we can find other means necessary to get them the education through some free online clinics and MSHA.com to accomplish that. But I awarded them mostly everything that they asked for. I went ahead and let off the banners because, again, I think that that's something that the Booster Club or individual people might want to donate money for. So they got awarded $3,236.03. Onto the cheer. The only thing I left off was a couple of the costumes. I almost left off, I'm sorry. I went ahead and gave them some of that, but the dance consultants and the stunt consultant I left off. I think that's why we pay their coaches a stipend, is to go get the means necessary to be able to teach those things themselves, and don't feel like we're double dipping on that with paying a stipend and as well with paying other people to come in and actually teach it. Working here into the boys tennis. Again, they came in under budget, so I went ahead and awarded them with everything, with roughly $3,168.65. Girls tennis came well in under the budget again, so we awarded everything that they wanted, and this kind of having this price tag here is what helps us get that big ticket item this year. Boys track, this is a big item that we awarded. We went ahead and got the pole vault package and the match and everything for $17,199, and went ahead and got them poles to finish it all off at $598. And track's budget came in roughly at $17,797. But again, that was our big ticket item, and we wanted to make sure that our kids are well equipped and trained enough to participate in things like the pole vault and have experience in practice and not put themselves in a position to get hurt. Field hockey, Uh, this was a unique one for me, not knowing a whole lot about it. I went ahead and ordered them some goals and the game balls and then the goalie protection gear set. I figured with that being one of the more expensive equipment sets, um, I thought that that's something that the school could provide and not have to have individual parents going out and spending $500 on a goalie pads. And that's something that we could use for quite some time. Other than that, the sticks and the goggles and things of that nature, shin guards, I think that's something that parents can probably provide themselves. Boys volleyball, I went ahead and awarded them their jerseys and warm ups and ball cart and necessary equipment. In my opinion, we already have a net system in stands. The referee stands we already have, and the shoes I didn't award because again that's something that I think they can raise the money for if they want team shoes, or the individuals can just get whatever it is that they need to. Looking at boys cross country, I awarded everything but the starter pistol and the megaphone combo kit. I think that that's something where if we contract that stuff out, Misha obviously sends the track officials in and they have those necessary means to get the meet off and running. So I don't think that that's something we should have to supply. But after that, I thought that they came in well under budget at $3,097.39. To boys basketball, obviously you need basketballs, so we went ahead and got those ordered. We got some defensive pads, some reversible practice shirts and shorts, meaning that they're wearing that almost every single day. We would like to keep those in good shape and usable. And also the Gatorade bottles and all that, I went ahead and awarded those. When we're looking at the team ball cage, we should already have one of those. The shooting machine, although it's not a huge ticket item, when you look at a $3,500 budget, taking a $1,500 chunk out, that's quite a bit, along with the travel hoodies and travel pants. All that equals up to a large amount of money there, almost $3,000 by itself. And then the shoes were $1,600. And again, we're not going to supply them. If they want to raise that money, that's on them. So their budget came in roughly at $2,500. Baseball, we went through and got them hats. I did reduce the number. They wanted 96 hats. I reduced it to 50. I know that the intent was to sell those and try to make a profit, but again, I'm not necessarily in the business to help baseball make the profit. If they have leftover means of money to bump that back up to 96 to sell the remaining hats that aren't being used, then that's something that I highly encourage if they want to do that. But it won't come out of everybody's budget for that. We got them practice balls and got them some game balls, varsity bat bag. That does help when you potentially carrying 5-6 bats around. The bases I left. I think that bases they last forever. One of the little secret tips that we have there is just go out and spray paint them white. They look brand new before every game, and that'll save us $300. The Fungo bats and getting the bats for the kids, that's all great and grand, but when you're looking at providing for 24 sports, those are things that again parents can get on their own. And it might be something too where we can, with our leftover budget, maybe we can get 1 or 2 bats for them, but we don't want to be supplying 9 bats or anything like that, or 4 Fungos. We can use some leftover stuff for that. So the baseball budget came in right at $2,403. Girls golf, we're looking at their budget came in at $567. Again, a little bit lower, but we got them, the golf tees and golf balls, and we got them some polos. I didn't think they needed 2 polos. I didn't think they needed all of the, knit skirts and skirts and all that, and the shoes they can supply on their own. The hats they can supply on their own. We just want to make sure that they look and represent our school the right way, and we can accomplish that with the polos. Going into girls soccer, they had quite a big list here, and I just narrowed it down to just things that were absolutely needed to get us going for the year, and not supplying them with every little detail possible. So I bumped their budget to $4,045. Girls track, I ordered quite a bit too, because again, this is a boys and girls interchangeable most of the time. So even though I did these separate, I tried not to overlap them. And if this was something that I get away from both of them, I awarded them. So their budget went up a little bit. We were right at about $4,000 to accomplish what they wanted. Girls basketball came in right about $3,500, right on. The only thing that I kept out was, since we got them new uniforms, I figured maybe we'd get them new shirts the next year or something. And the whistles, again, although it is a small purchase, coaches can take care of those things on their own. It's $7 purchase. Softball came in. I awarded everything that they had asked for, since we came in under budget, and they were right at $2,675. So we went ahead and awarded those things. Girls volleyball, the only thing we didn't award were the shoes. Again, just trying to keep it equal throughout every sport, and they came in roughly at $1,700. Football, we awarded with the tackling dummies and the tackling wheel. I thought that was a very important part. Proper technique is a safety thing in football, and I want to make sure that they have the proper practice equipment to make sure that we're doing things the right way. The girdles are something that the players could buy on their own, just in the sense of the budget that we have for this year. We could look at maybe lowering the quantity and accomplishing that, but we weren't willing to spend, or I wasn't willing to spend $2,000+ on girdles that kids can go out and buy for $21. And with the gloves, again, that's a kid thing, and not something that we're going to supply them. Girls lacrosse, again, this was a sport that I was fairly unfamiliar with, and trying to figure out how to get all the necessary equipment that keep the big ticket items out of the way of the parents that are necessities. And so we awarded a lot of the goalie equipment, and I thought that was the biggest expense in the sport, and so their budget came right at $3,000. Dance, I awarded a couple of uniforms and the palms, and the ability to get the music that they wanted, but I took away about 2 of the costumes, it looks like. I thought we were just kind of overkill with 3 or 4 different costumes in one year. Obviously, we can work around those in the years to come, but their budget came in right at $2,561. Water polo, I tried to be fair on this with every other sport and swimming as well, and so I awarded the swim caps and the warm-up from the pool, the sweatpants and the jackets. We obviously needed the water polo balls and the cages and all that, and the pump for the balls. And just to be able to simulate games, I thought the horn and the megaphone were a great way to go. And I put their budget, just because we were a little bit higher there than other sports, but again, just trying to get it off and running, was $3,817 from there. Boys golf, they got golf balls and they got their polos as well, just trying to be fair with the girls' sports. The girls got tees as well. If that's something that the boys wanted, we could probably pitch that in to help their budget, since they're a little bit lower than everybody else, but I put their new budget at $1,182.74. And then last, boys swimming, again, trying to keep it consistent throughout. They awarded the swim caps and the warm-up jackets and pants, and the briefs for the swimsuit for the team to look similar. Got them a megaphone as well, and then some training merchandise that they wanted. Again, like the safety training, we can find some other means necessary to take care of that. I am full support of that, but we can do some other things at that. So their budget came at $1,882. So to kind of review where we're at again, when we look at the overview of everything from every sport, we try to stay pretty consistent throughout it all. With my final total budget for that year coming in at $77,000, $881.77. With left us roughly $14,118.23 left for little odds and ends and things that maybe coaches forgot. Thought this was the best way, the fair way to do it.